Hmm. Let me test something real quick.
Learn anything new.
Weren't you
Stay inquisitive.
weren't you Russian? Bring Russian Zana back. This is unbelievable. Hello guys. This is going to be a guide to my Consecrated Path Chieftain Delve Edition. There's a couple of reasons why I chose Consecrated Path. I'm a very big fan of Flicker, and this thing offered me the idea of going Flicker and still being somewhat in control of my character without fucking too many things up. I also wanted it to be dirt cheap. So let's have a look at my choices. First of all, Consecrated Path seems to be as wide as a Delve Path. So technically you kill anything that's there, right? You just instantly jump to it and kill it silly. The mechanics of the skill says 50% of the physical damage converted to fire damage. It has very good base damage. It has really good effectiveness. Like, look at that, 146%. What the hell? And it also has a bit of a multiplier when it comes to hitting one single target. Like, if you're alone in the boss room, the last line here deals up to 20% more damage to closer targets is going to help, because basically it's going to mean you're going to have like a 6.5 instead of a 6 link, right? Now, how do you start this character? And why a chieftain? Well, let's have a look, shall we? Chieftain, mostly because of Namahu's Flame Advance. I'm going to explain the other choices as well. So, I get free Soft's Blood. 50% of physical damage converted to fire damage. Yeah, you only do fire damage now. I penetrate 10% of their fire resistance, which is always good, especially against bosses who have quite high resists. And every 10 seconds I gain 70% of physical damage as extra fire damage for 3 seconds. Meaning, my attack scales off fire and mostly physical being converted. Conversion is still one of the strongest things in the game right now, because you can take, instead of taking like just pure fire nodes, let's say Lava Lash, right? You can take anything. You can take any kind of physical node and it's going to work because it's already converted. Now, my thought was like this. Sauce Blood, right now, in Delve, is over 10 exalts. No joke. So, way too expensive to start a character with this. So, what would have been the cheapest thing? Well, going Chieftain, and, what can give me massive physical damage without needing to spend multiple exalts on kind of a foil that would attack fast, and it would need crit, and it would need attack speed, and blah 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 blah. Oh, I know. This thing. Yay, face breakers. Let's go. You have a lot of opportunities with this thing. So you don't need a weapon. In 5 to 10 chaos, you're done. Right? It deals pure physical damage. So all of that conversion, when you factor in nodes that give you physical damage for holding a shield, as such, for example, or like this, retaliation, right? It's going to scale directly into your thing, right? It's going to give you direct physical damage. Come to think about it, I don't even have that many damage nodes here. And I'm still doing quite a bit. Now, there are some drawbacks. Lack of a weapon means you're going to be socket starved for the most part. Like, literally, there's going to be things that you're not going to be able to do. So, for instance, I could take Arunkui, Moon's Presence, and put a totem down, and that would give me a 16% more multiplier for both physical and fire. This thing alone would destroy my enemies, right? But I don't think I have any sockets to put it in. I'm gonna be very honest with you. Um, right now my reservation is kind of I have 109 mana. The skill costs 22. It's right there where I can actually use it. And the reason why this is we got Herald of Purity. Hello, Flat Fizz, Phasebreaker's best friend. Flat Fizz on everything, right? Herald of Ash, because again, it scales off physical damage, which is insanity on a Phasebreaker build. And Flammability, because I'm doing 100% fire damage now. Because it all gets converted. Half from the skill, from Mahu, the ascendancy point. Now, how did I start this character dirt cheap? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, it took a lot of blood aqueducts. I found a lot of blood aqueducts, but a couple of other items have changed since the last time people have used facebreakers. First of all, Meginord's is still really good. You can get a good one for about 2 alchemies, and that's about it. Facebreaker is going to run you about 5 chaos. This was, for example, 5 chaos. I'm imagining that within a week this is going to be 1 chaos or 2 chaos. That's about it. And the roll isn't that important. I POB'd this character with a 780 Facebreaker just now, and I can tell you right now I just gained like 9k damage or something like that, which is completely negligible. The big ticket items will come later. Let's talk about what options you have here. Well, the cheapest and best option, in my opinion, is using Bringer of Rain. Bringer of Rain is amazing. So, the only downside of it is that it doesn't allow you to use a physical, a chest armor. And as I said before, you are a socket star, so you're going to have to deal with off-coloring everything else. Just kind of bad. Why, oh why, did I actually put a blue socket here? Well, as it turns out, elemental focus is amazing for this skill. It doesn't matter that you cannot inflict elemental ailments, because we're not scaling burn, we're not scaling ignite, we don't care about those things, we just care about flat physical converted into pure, unadulterated fire damage. So, right now let me just take off my fancy thing, right? Ooh, I have enough dex to wear Blood Rage. Or Phase Run. Alright, my rest of the gear is fine. My chest piece is being ignored. So let's see how much damage I can get off of just Bringer of Rain. I have 18 melee physical damage, pretty decent. 12 faster attack, this is kind of bad. Facebreakers suffers from lack of attack speed in builds. And to be honest, you can feel it. Like, this is not going to be champion levels of speed. This is a pretty mediocre mapper at best. The only good thing about it is that you can literally face tank any boss. I've tried it up to like tier 11 or 12, and I literally just face tanked anything and never died. Also, very lucky first enchant from a Merciless lab. I haven't even done my Uber lab yet because I can't find the last Uber trial, and I'm too lazy to go to A20, Global A20, and just ask people for it. I'm gonna do that at one point because I'm really curious to see if I can kill Uberizaro. Would you please stop delving, people? I'm recording here, okay? Stop putting that shit on my screen. Anyways, so you're gonna see in a second. So the blue socket is basically elemental focus. We're gonna put Consecrated Path, and we're going to use the biggest multipliers we can have. Melee physical is not gonna work because we already have a melee phys, so that goes in the bin. Elemental damage with attack works, and added fire is actually a pretty decent combination. Voila. 85k, and now my ascendancy just kicked in, giving me 70% of fire damage. Of physical damage is extra fire damage. It happens for 3 seconds, every 10 seconds. You can't count it. There's no warning for it. It's just trust me, it happens, right? So attack speed becomes slightly more important because in this little moment, in these 3 seconds, you have to be able to land about at least 3 attacks, I think would be ideal, right? If you can also multiply with Ruthless later on, we're going to have a 6-link chest, it would be amazing because Ruthless plus 70% of physical damage like added as extra fire damage, which is effectively more multiplier, pretty decent. But you still do 85k on a sheet, and this is like not even that true because you're doing a lot more than that with your many more multipliers like penetrating their resistance and stuff like that. It's more like 120k 125k DPS. You can import this character into POB. I'm going to leave a link. My suggestion to you is run POB before you buy any upgrades, because you'll be surprised at what isn't an upgrade. Okay, just like I said, for example, 2 minutes ago, that I have a 747 Facebreaker, and I was thinking about buying a 791, but the sheet DPS increase is just really small, and I was like, so I should probably be investing in something else, especially because I'm kind of poor. Look at this. This is all I got, baby. Maps are bad. I can't afford to buy maps right now. I'm kind of too poor. I just have to fucking drudge through it until I'm going to get to red maps, basically. So, what am I going to do if I can't have a Bringer of Rain? Well, this, ladies and gentlemen, is our best next in slot. This is amazing for us. It gives the same flat fizz that Meganords would have been doing if it didn't get nerfed. Rip. And 20 melee damage. It's absolutely astonishingly good. This thing is so good. I averaged, I think, around 48 million XP per hour at level 42 with it, because you literally just one-shot everything. Up to like map tier 7, I one-shot every single rare I found that didn't have double resist on. Like, does extra fire damage, also provides a small resistance to fire, resists fire damage, resists elemental damage. A combination from these three things, like if it had two properties like that, I would need to shoot it the second time. But other than that, I just one-shotted everything on a Bringer of Rain. You also notice the Bringer of Rain has the added benefit of being super duper tankiness. This character right now is at level 88. I'm massively over leveled for the maps I'm doing. But look at that, 6.3k HP. Why the hell would I need 6.3k HP, man? I mean, come on, you're level 8, you're not even level 90. What is this level of tankiness? I mean, you are playing on standard delve. You're not playing hardcore. Well, let me explain. The reason why I went this way is because I wanted to fit in this bitch. This is really, really hard to put in. Not even joking. This is like insanity for even standard players. Unless you're a jug that can generate like 8 endurance charges or something insane like that, this is always going to be a risk. I expect the one shot to come from a random melee hit that is literally... Empyrean, stop delving with your crew, okay, please. Anyways, so I'm expecting this to one-shot me one time, and I'm going to be very sad and salty about it because I'm going to lose a lot of XP, but until then, c'est la guerre, right? This is why we play standard, baby, because we can take shit risks that sometimes, very rarely, pay off. Let's recap. 85k. Yeah? And by the way, Bringer of Rain has another extra benefit, which is socketed gems are supported by level 6 blind, which gives me exactly 10% chance to blind enemies and hit. Blind is the single best defense in this game. Period. It does not reduce accuracy. It just literally reduces the chance of a mob to hit you by half. Let me explain why this is not accuracy. If you have 1500 accuracy, you would have around, probably at my level, you'd have around 79 to 80% chance to hit. This is an approximate number. If you have 1000 accuracy, you still have 70-something% chance to hit. It's shit hit rating, yeah, but you still have the chance to hit. Halving that would destroy you. Like if you went from 81% or 80%, let's say, for the sake of numbers, to 40%, oh my god, would you feel it. First of all, I would run trying to consecrate path to the next mob and missing non-stop. Second of all, if you're a crit build, say goodbye, because crit needs to be rolled twice against accuracy, once to hit, and a second time to crit. This explains the price of Lycosidae, that unique shield that gives you enemies can't avoid. Right, that explains it. So, before I get into this bit boy, the levelings are like this. You're going to use a Meganords, Facebreaker, and you're going to buy this thing for another alchemy. This is literally going to take you up in front of Kitava. 100%. You will destroy Kitava. Like in Act 10 Kitava, I would hit him 3 times and then he would retreat like a bitch and throw his heart out like some kind of Katy Perry song. Now, another very good unique to use is this thing. Great Old One's Ward Corrugated Buckler. First of all, look at this thing. Come on. It has Cthulhu on it. I mean, come on. You gotta get it. And surprisingly, this thing has amazing stats on it. Leveling boots are kind of hard to come by. 12% chance to block spell damage, flat fizz, attack speed, and life. I mean, what else? What else could it possibly give it? Like all resist? Come on, it's just already too much. just get one of these. They're extremely cheap. They're a couple of chaos, right? While you're leveling in Blood Aqueducts to get your first tabby, thinking that that's the choice, this thing is going to give you massive damage and defense and attack speed and life and movement speed in the same package. It's an amazing shield. If they make a faded version of this, I will jizz my pants. I'll play Facebreaker every league. Not even kidding. Now, this build has some serious advantages. Again, Consecrated Path is a very, very good skill. It just makes consecrated ground whenever you attack. It flickers to the next enemy. It has a pretty wide range. For example, if this was a mob, sorry Navali, you're it. So if this was a mob, I would be able to probably do it around this distance, and it would literally flicker and attack everything. So if I attack Vorici, everyone here is going to be affected by it. It's true, you cannot attack the same enemy with the direct melee portion, which is at the center, if they are also attacked by the range. So you hit with like an AoE, and you do 20% more damage only at the center, not at the edge. So your leveling options again, Dyed Bell. You can even get the Fated Unique, which is a bit more expensive because it gives you instant War Cries, and War Cries are going to be important later on, and I'll tell you why. Great Old Ones, Meginolds, Facebreaker, and you're ready to kill everything and get into maps. Now, the downsides. The only way you can scale this build is with flat and wet. That's it. You need a pretty good... this actually dropped for me. I didn't even buy this. It has a pretty good fizz roll and it has a pretty nice wet roll, so I just left it here. For this level of content in the market currently, this is an amazing amulet, right? It's kind of shit for crit builds, but it's amazing for anything that does elemental damage converted from fizz, and this is what we are. And of course, your rings. These are going to have to be transformed later on into steel rings. Right now, if my chess piece, which I'll talk in a second, was 6-linked, I would have about 600k. Probably Shaper DPS. Maybe 500k Shaper DPS, 600k on all bosses. Because I would also socket like Elemental Focus and Conk Effect in. That's why I said that having an extra blue socket on Bringer of Rain or Dyed Bell or whatever 4-link you're going to have while leveling is important, because you can swap Elemental Focus to Conk Effect. First of all, it's a very, very solid multiplier. It's basically the biggest multiplier you can have for anything that has the AoE tag on it. And it's basically an attack. And it can also offer a bit more control during boss fights. Instead of, because I don't know if you can tell, but the graphics is kind of intense. I mean, how can you not play this guy? Look at this, he's smacking the ground, he's so angry! Oh, and also he's a mana flask, because this is who I am as a person. I shouldn't be using a mana flask. Especially a level 12 mana flask, but I just don't care, I don't need that much mana. This is because this skill is also kind of buggy, and I hope they fix it. For example, let's say that Navali is right here, and this is a box that I can't go through, I would have to go around, or a pillar even yet, or a corner or something. I would do this attack, and Navali would not get hit, but my character would think, hey, she's in the radius of the aura, so I don't need to flicker to her. So it's fine. So sometimes you're going to have mobs right behind a corner or something that are trying to attack you, but the AI being so stupid is not going to attack you, and you're literally just going to waste your mana just attacking nothing. So this is why having a mana flask at this point in the game is still beneficial. How are you going to upgrade this? Well, I said steel rings, massive flat rolls, massive wed rolls if you can, right? Later on, Meginolds is going to be replaced by a wed rustic sash, or I don't know, maybe an abyssal. Yeah, maybe a Stygian Vice with a socket in it is also good, because by the way, 2 of the 4 types of abyssal jewels can roll flat fizz, which is still pretty good, but not by much. Like this, for example, gives me 5 to 7 fizz attack, which is, I believe, is it a T? I don't know, is it a T1? Is it a T2? Let's check. It's a tier 1 actually. It is a tier 1 roll. And it still barely ekes out one of my other jewels, which is just 16% global fizz. It's barely slightly better than 16% fizz. If you can get 16% fizz, 16% fizz while wearing a shield and some resists, I think that would definitely beat out a Murderous Eye jewel. With the exception of these things can roll very good flat fizz, and since I take amazing amounts of life from the tree, it might eke out more life, but not more damage. Depends on your playstyle. If you're like me and you really don't want your fun to be ruined by a nasty crit from a mob that does physical damage somewhere, you should probably invest into defenses. Now, rings, flat fizz is your friend, wed is also your friend because technically you're doing fire damage. Late game, you will want one of these, a Lord Weave. Yeah, mine are maximum resistances are 78, but I'm not gonna fucking spend 200 chaos right now to try to divine it to 80. This is what I got, basically. It has pretty good life. It has shit attributes, but I don't really care about them that much. It has very decent flat fizz. It has mediocre wed. And 78 resistances. I can't ask for more, you know? Like, come on, it's 78, it's not 75. I'm already receiving like less, like 10% less. Well, 10% reduced, not less, because this is PoE. 10% reduced damage from elemental attacks, which offers me sufficient protection. I'm gonna 6-link it later. I'm going to see what the optimal combination is. Surprisingly, elemental focus is very close to conk effect in terms of how well it works, so you might actually have to keep elemental focus in instead of conk. I mean, when you're doing like 100-something K damage, getting 8K damage isn't that beneficial, but killing all of the ads in one go, for example for Shaper, might be better. So probably just keep elemental focus and never have 2 blue sockets in your final setup, because conk effect would gimp that. Well, not necessarily the Shaper fight where you can still sit in front of the portal and just one-shot everything that comes out, but, you know, it's for, you know, comfort and clear speed, because this character is shit at maps. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's mediocre at best. I've never managed to get decent results with him because it just... without dual wielding, without having crit, like massive amounts of crit, like going champion to also just guaranteed hit everything with 100% accuracy, so you don't have to go through the double roll for crit, like I mentioned before, 1 roll to see if you hit the mob and 1 roll to see if you crit. Without a champion, this is going to be bad. The speed is just really bad. There's nothing I can do about it, to be honest. It's 217 right now. You pop like... I'm gonna pop Blood Rage as soon as I can re-equip it, and we'll see what happens. Then you'll come to the big boy, which is obviously the Abysses. How the hell can you afford to put in Abysses? Did you not see the delves? Did you not see how dangerous they are? Well, yeah. I did. I think 99. Oh my god, this is fantasy. 92. Okay, so that was the rule, basically. But I think I'm just gonna go with Added Fire for my 6th-link. When I get it, it's gonna be fine. Putting these babies back in case I want to level something else. I'm just gonna level as Consecrated Path, whatever, with phase breakers. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't really care anymore. I'm trying something with Phase Run. I don't use it that often, but it gives 28% more melee physical damage, and you are a melee physical damage, so 20% more is like 20% more here, 20% more from if you're hitting an enemy up close. Basically, you're a 7-link now, doing massive amounts of damage, right? Okay, for links, Consecrated Path. Conk effect is the second top, but it destroys your clear speed. That's just not comfortable to use unless you're doing something very specific like Shaper, Uber Itziri, or Itziri. We'll see in a second. I actually have a set ready for that. So Elemental Focus. Melee Physical is also amazing because again you convert for free everything that you have that's physical into elemental. So having more physical is just good. It's just great. Elemental damage with attacks is amazing. Technically I could have went with 5 reds, but attack speed is so shit that I literally have to use faster attacks. Multi-strike does not work with this skill. It does not work. Even so, even with faster attacks, and even with having shit attack speed, there's going to be some bugs where, again, Navali, you're it, I'm sorry, you're the mob. I'm going to be attacking at the edge of a mob, somewhere around here, and literally my character is going to attack 2 or 3 times before he's going to go, oh, wait, I can't hit it, I have to go here and hit it. And then it'll flicker to that target. You'll see in a second what I'm talking about. So, this skill is amazing in terms of how free it is and how well you can scale it with dirt cheap gear. But it's also really problematic for maps, and it has some very serious issues. I'm gonna post some images in the comments. Well, you'll notice me getting stuck into ops. Like, for example, if I would flicker very close to this stash and I would flicker on top of it, I would not be able to move. Like, I would be stuck into the texture. And you would think, oh, well, you just wait for another mob to come to you or something. Well, yes, but what if I'm in a lab? What if there's no other mob? What if I have to TP out? I just lost that offering, right? I just lost that Uber lab. Or maybe it's the last portal to a map. Maybe I have to because once you port out from in the texture of the like the object you're in and you can't move out, when you TP back in, it's not going to post you in it. It's going to put you right next to it and you can move. But this is still a bug that needs to be fixed. That corner bug and the range bug where the skill cannot really tell if it's going to hit something or not, and it just keeps you in one place while the archer is just shooting you with arrows and making your face look like a piñata. These things are to be warned about. Attack speed also, again, is a bit of a problem. But hey, look at the bright side. I'm wearing a wand, which has a high requirement. So high that it's not a weapon. It doesn't count as a weapon. So first of all, it doesn't ruin this beautiful, beautiful MTX that I'm wearing, right? Which is Bleached Demon Lore. And second of all, it doesn't cancel out my Facebreaker. Every time you equip something that you can use, it's going to put it in your weapon slot and it's going to ruin your day. So go to Options, go to UI, and somewhere here is Auto Equip. Do not have this selected if you're a Facebreaker build. Otherwise, every single time you're going to run over and accidentally click a mace or something from the ground, it's going to equip it, and all of a sudden your DPS goes to 0. I just use enough int gear to equip this, socket some things that I want to level, and just remove that equipment so it becomes red, so I can just socket other things. If you are using Boar, it becomes even more insane, because with Boar you can do this. This is my tabula rasa that has random gems to level in it. I used to, like, look, all of these are 19 basically. I just leveled them up because, well, I can't use a chest, but if you put it in there and then put the boar on top of it, it's still going to keep the gems there. So this is 6 plus 3, that's 9, plus the weapon swaps, it's another 6. That's, come on, that's 15 gems you can level whenever you want. It's pretty good, at the cost of being socket starved, so you cannot use a lot of things. Because my mana is so shit when I activate everything, this Herald of Purity that also summons friends, because Herald of Ash and Flammability, mana being 109, the skill costing 22, I need a 4-link, which is very, very costly for this kind of build, to move. And I'm doing it with shield charge because not having a weapon shield charging is fine, but having a wand and shield charging is not fine. GGG, what the heck. Anyways, shield charge, faster attacks. This one just got to level 20. I just leveled it up again. 45 because Abyssus. Let's be honest, Abyssus. And blood magic. I'm also running a enduring cry. Like, for example, I did a vulnerability tier 10 map with porcupines. Vulnerability increases my damage from projectiles. Porcupines all explode because I also have Herald of Fire, so technically with Abyssus you'd think to yourself, well, you're gonna one-shot yourself, aren't you? Not really. You just charge into the first guy, like so, boom, yeah? You get the 45 buff, the guy probably dies, doesn't die, but is just one, and then you just yell like a bitch. And I only have 3 endurance charges, but so far it's enough. I've never gotten one-shot from a physical attack except Azoobi and her spear that probably crit me. I'm gonna do an Azoobi for you guys anyway, so you see how the build works. And also because I just leveled these things to 20 quality and I need to level them up pronto because my damage is garbage right now. Go ahead to... Okay, so 122k. With Blood Rage we go to 131. It's still really respectable damage. So, enough chit-chat. Let's go to the map. I wanted to make this build because I was looking PoE Ninja, and it also has like a build section, and I noticed this guy that was doing 500,000 DPS, and I was like, what the heck? Day 2, 500,000 DPS? That's amazing. How did you do that? And then I noticed what he was using, and it just started to make sense. So, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, my guy thinks he can attack the guys behind, but he can't, and he just sits there in one place and attacks. Look at how atrocious the attack speed is. I mean, sure, I just have to hit them once, but it's still atrocious for mapping, trust me. You're not going to get any speed records with this guy. It's just bad. For flasks, we're going to use the regular flasks, which is, we're going to use Azoobi flask, because it's amazing. We gain physical and elemental. I have to buy a better one. This one shit. And of course, Lion's Roar. Lion's Roar is the single best flask you can use for multiple reasons. You're going to see on the boss. The knockback effect is actually very beneficial to you. Other quirks of this skill is it puts Consecrated Ground, giving you extra regen. Regen is also a form of defense. People kind of forget about it, but it's actually really solid. And because of that, you need to flicker to something. You need to move to something to apply it. Because if you stay in one place and attack, at one point it went off, see? So it just goes off. So sometimes just move a bit away. And Hadouken back inside. You're going to see in a second I use this very defensively. Like, for example, if there are barriers here, I just do this and I move out of the way of the barriers, or shield charge. You can play very defensively with this character by just not being there when the bad guys show up. Okay, the clear speed is decent. Again, you don't need conk effect for this. Elemental focus is going to do a very good job. Sometimes it's very useful to just charge in so you can get that defense going. You can get your Fortify proc up, so you don't have to worry about getting destroyed by the first melee mob. Be careful of bleeds, be careful of things that fire physical projectiles, like porcupines, like I mentioned. You still have to be careful against those. But surprisingly, I haven't died from a one-shot, except at the Ziri, which was really unlucky. I should have just shield charged out of the way, but sometimes shield charge has this animation where you're kind of stuck a bit. Let's go, baby. Speedo. This is basically what the champion would look like. And there's also this other bug that I really hate, which is you go there, and instead of flickering to the next closest enemy, what it does is just keep hitting the ground for no reason like this. This is very obvious with the speed shrine, but trust me, it happens even with the lowest attack speed. When you hit something, everything dies, and then it just keeps hitting for no reason. Right. Oh, this is the boss fight. So this is what I meant. This is what I mean by using Lion's Roar. See, this guy's trying to cast, but he can't because I'm just pushing him back non-stop. That's it. I mean, yeah, it's not crit damage, but it just gets the job done, you know? Another thing that I was thinking to myself, if I'm using an Abyssus, I might as well link Herald of Purity with Chance to Blind. I mean, they only have half... I have 4 minions. Even with like 15% chance to blind, basically that would solve my problems. I would get hit a lot less. And I'm not concerned about these small guys because I did take Iron Reflexes. I'm actually a lot more concerned about big bosses. If you send 4 of these minions to attack Hydra or one of the other Guardians, right? If you do that, because you still have a chance to summon them even if you're not killing something when you're hitting a unique enemy. Like, having their attacks miss half the damn time would be amazing. It would simply be amazing. Especially because I'm wearing an Abyssus. But as you can see, damage is... Oh shit, I almost flickered to Nico. Nico, you almost died today. You have no idea how lucky you are. So, even though damage is still not very impressive right now, it's sufficient for the other things that your guy does. right? So you're extremely tanky. You might think to yourself, well, how the hell do you do lab traps and stuff while having an abyssus? Are you crazy? Well, let's see. There's something here that's very interesting and I think people don't realize works. Because I've tested it a bit and it works. Which is this. 10% of physical damage from hits are taken as fire damage, and I have 2% extra life regen if I've taken fire damage from a hit. I walked into traps that are spikes, and I think it counts as a physical hit, because every time I got hit once, my life goes down to nothing because it's physical, so Abyssus just literally wrecks my ass, but then my regen just pops harder than ever, so I think even traps work with it, because I think they are considered physical hits, the spike traps particularly. I think there was a trial over here somewhere there we can test my theory out. I really should be doing that Uber trial, to be honest. Okay, here we go. Good enough. I'm done with the map, I just wanted to show you the boss. I mean, monsters are 76, I'm 88, that's not really fair for them, but it is what it is. Okay. Anything that hits you is going to hit you hard. But this is also a very good defensive mechanic, like... Let's see what happens. Look at that. See? Look at how hard I get hit. But there's also a very good defensive mechanic. Regen is really good. And you can also do things like flicker to things. Like this. Now I'm in the middle. Now I'm over here. Now I'm over here. That's it. Regen is really nothing to joke about, to be honest. I mean, even if I cancel my Blood Rage, for example, right now I didn't take all of the nodes that I would need to take for regen, but I could literally just sit here and regen to full. I just need to cancel my Blood Rage. Not that you need it anyway. And for things like this, again, bam, bam, and we're done. If you really have really good dexterity with this kind of thing, you can literally do it like this. You just jump over them because you can flicker to obstacles. I've done this trial, by the way. I'm not interested in doing it again. If it's really, really hard, switch back to your Bringer of Rain and be done with it. Just, you know, that thing is enough. Sometimes the sound bugs out, which, trust me, at first it's like, oh my god, it's amazing. It sounds so good. Oh, come on, Haas. Don't be like that. Why you gotta be like that, man? Why you gotta be like that? You gotta come at me with your shit, with your spells. Come on. Alright. I hate this map because it counts actually the dogs that you haven't released yet as monsters remaining, and you're like, oh, come on, I killed everything. What's left? It's the dogs. I haven't let the dogs out yet. This is just because I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I'm really done with this map. I really don't want to be here anymore. Anyways, let's try an Aziri and see what happens. Because Aziri has this weird mechanic where she actually hits you with a spear that can crit. It's pure fizz. So, good luck with that. Technically, I should get literally one shot. My character should disappear. But it's going to be a very good showcase of what happens when things do not go right. Because there's always a chance for that, you know, let's be honest. You're wearing an Abyssus, what the hell are you expecting? Oh, and the best slot chest is obviously Lore Weave, I don't know if I mentioned it. Wed, flat attack, maximum resistances, I mean, come on. It's the best chest for any attack in the game right now, I would feel. Like, don't even try to craft, like... Ooh. Oh, I'm keeping this. Anyways, let's try an Aziri. Two reasons why I'm doing an Aziri. It's a more engaging fight. And I need to level up these gems. And trust me when I say this, leveling gems with Aziri is insanely good. Let's turn on the end. Alright. Really don't care about these things. Sometimes I can just use my Warcry just to yell a bit and like, okay, maybe. See, this is like, people don't realize, but this this thing where nothing personnel kiddo, when you just move behind them, is really good because They mostly of them don't even have time to shoot. You just kill them before that. Ah, bears are so easy to dodge right now. I'm actually sad. Used to take a bit more skill. Now it's just like, oh, there's a big circle behind me. Now it's under me. Whatever am I going to do? Oh shit, I actually started this. Not bad. Yeah, I love double cannot die totem. So good. Good game design. Alright. Picking strands, just you never know when you're gonna want to level a second character, so you know. Do it. And now you're watching the wonderful, wonderful AI to have Abyss spawn. It's gonna take you on a journey, man. I had one map where I literally just went round and round and round. The beautiful voice, by the way, that you're hearing is Mathil, also known as Bay. I took the profanity filter, obviously. Now let's see what happens when I come here. So I have no charges, I don't have anything. Frenzies are about to expire, right? Still doing 124k. See how much damage I can pump into them. Oh, and I don't have a golem, by the way, because again, socket starve. Where the hell would I put a golem as well? I would need to have like 3 blues, 1 red on this thing, and it's kind of hard to chrome. It's gonna cost me a fortune. Oh, and I don't even have a flask. Whatever will I do? I don't know if the damage is enough. Yeah, okay. Damage is enough. By the way, that was with the increased damage. Don't get it twisted. It would have taken 4 hits. I didn't have my my ascendancy with 70% of physical damage is extra fire damage. That thing is crazy broken on Facebreaker. I'm just glad that they finally put a skill in that's kind of decent to use. You saw how horrible this thing is in maps, though. It's really nothing to be proud of. It's kind of garbage. But that's only because of the speed at which it clears mobs and the bugs that we have right now with the skill. Also, you can jump over things, which is extremely useful since there's no leap slam for you, buddy. You're wearing a shield and no weapon, so there's no leap slam. Even if you had a weapon in the shields, leap slam would be crazy slow on this, so I don't even recommend it as a weapon swap, especially because they nerfed the yellow hammer of gods. Okay, I'm going in. Who do I kill first? Well, I don't really care. Come on, come on, come on. Never mind. What? I'm gonna come to you, man. You're still gonna die. Alright. I know I'm acting all high and mighty. I'm level 88 with fucking Loreweave and Abyssus taking on normal Aziri, but you know. This character feels good, man. You punch the ground. You're that angry. I mean, come on. The only one angrier is the Doom guy. You're so manly in this build. So good. Anyways. Let's see what happens when there's an ability that can actually one-shot me through my 6k life. Basically. Which is the spear. The spear can literally ruin my day. If it crits me, it's going to one-shot me, no problem. See, again, I was attacking the ground. I wasn't attacking anything. It didn't move me to any mob because the AI of the skill thought that mobs were in range when they weren't. So I was just and the mobs were just attacking me left and right. 30 monsters, I missed a room. I'm gonna do the shitty SC player here and I'm gonna make a port because, yeah. You know, it would be nice if you let me actually damage you sometime. See, I'm that bad at this game, man. I just got hit by the first thing that I saw. I have to dance like this. Could you let me damage you for a second, please? Like that. You saw that? That's the damage. I have to start here. Just to make sure I don't get hit by that fire thing. You ascend through the flames. God damn it, it gave me a... See, I didn't do enough damage to her, now I have an ad phase. Whatever am I gonna do? How am I gonna kill ads coming from all places? It just seems so complicated, guys. I don't know how to do it. If only there was a way. Sometimes you need to yell to maintain your stuff. Man. One shot me with the spear, one shot me with the spear. Still can't kill her because she needs to go through the last phase again. And we do the same thing. I actually got the Ascendancy proc there. Goodbye. Oh shit, the Scepter, nice. Let's go. Actually wanted one of these. Is it good? 85. Oh, it's bad. It's kind of bad. Yeah, it's not going to be a lot, but it is what it is. We'll put it in the bank and figure it out later. So guys, this is the build. If you have any kind of questions, feel free to ask me. I've experimented with everything there is to experiment, right? Oh, actually no, we're not done yet. Hold on. Let me show you the delve experience, right? My damage is way more than enough for these guys. I have 64 light radius, 54 resist right now, because apparently I can't keep up with the delve, right? I keep going down, there's no point to it. Let's do a long one. I'll show you a long one. My dream is actually to do delves that also give me a ton of XP, but right now I can't do that. I'm way behind. See, this is like monster level 72, this is garbage for me. But let me show you how it works. So basically what I do is I shield charge, yell once, and my charge just generate. There you go. I have 3 endurance charges, so all of a sudden wearing a Abyssus isn't such a shitty idea. I have yet to be one-shotted in Delve, by the way. By anything. The only thing I died to is trying to get things from the side areas because I'm a fucking scrub and I don't watch enough ZGD videos. And if you can notice, it's actually pretty ideal for delves. It's exactly the right width. I mean, they knew what they were doing when they made this thing. You know what I mean? Like, look at this. I'm just clearing everything so easily. And I hate those tail things so much. First time I got a character in Delve, I was like, why is my crawler out? Why do I have no light? Why am I dying all the time? But it's exactly the right width. You have endurance charge generation. Whenever you kill something, you have a chance to generate an endurance charge. And at the amount of mobs that you have here, I mean, come on. Just one-shot everything every time. I'm gonna show you my secret crane technique developed from Cute Dog to kill delves. Flare cache again. Alright, give me more flares. I didn't use any of them. But whatever, I don't say no to free stuff. Technique. Close my eyes and I secondary click. Is it working? Alright. Sorry, I think we're back. My OBS just fucked up a bit. But it's fine. So, secret crane technique. I close my eyes and I just secondary click everything. Are they dead yet? Not looking. Closing my eyes. Sometimes I move my cursor randomly on the screen, so I just make sure that they're right there. But for the most part, they're all in range. Are they dead? Oh, I hear loot. I hear loot. Almost everything's dead. Alright, let's go. Sword. Alright. That's 2 chaos, basically. Because, come on, we're doing the chaos recipe report. We can't afford all of this fancy shit. And that's how you delve, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. You just secondary click, close your eyes, good to go. I hope you like this very, very long and detailed explanation of the pros and cons of Consecrated Path. And for the cheapest version, I kindly recommend Chieftan. It's going to be great. It scales, it's patient, whenever you have money, you can sink into it. It's gonna say, okay, let's do it. Maybe you want to get me off of this 4 link to Bringer of Rain and maybe getting me into some cooler shit. If you're not comfortable with using a Bringer of Rain like I am, for leveling, you can always use Date Bell, right? 1020 Fizz is still nothing to scoff at. And if you're not comfortable using an Abyssus endgame, use a Date Bell, why not? You know, any kind of flat helps. I hope this was informative, and I hope you give this fisting god, yes, a chance. Look at this. You're so angry. Until next time, Exiles. Stay safe and enjoy Delve. It's pretty fun. Catch you next time.